And joining us today on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a man who's written a book that's already getting a lot of great publicity. It's called The Like Switch, an ex-FBI agent's guide to influencing, attracting, and winning people over. We're joined today by Jack Schafer, who worked for the FBI, and he's joined us by telephone tonight. And Jack, good to talk with you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations on the book. We just mentioned before we went on, a nice write-up in, I know at least one of the New York papers, New York Post had it, so the book getting a lot of great press. You have a lot of interesting information in it.
Oh, thank you.
This is obviously based on what you've done for a living over the years, interrogating people, or I guess maybe interviewing people would be a better way to put it, to find the truth. But you got some great techniques in the book that can be applied to everybody's life, right?
Yeah, we found out that when we interview people, the one thing that is probably the key factor of getting someone to confess is if they like the person they're talking to, the person they're interviewing. So we went a little further in the behavioral analysis unit where I worked, and we kind of thin-sliced the how people normally make friends with other people and build relationships. And then we've identified specific nonverbal and verbal behaviors that we can use to help us befriend people and get along with folks.
Yeah, I guess we kind of get the... at least the impression maybe from watching old movies, police movies and all that, agent movies, where they, the interrogation, they're under the hot light and they're kind of browbeating them, but that's not the best way to get information, is it?
No, that's by the wayside now. The best way to get information is to get people to like you, because people, if they like you, they're going to tell you their secrets, or at least it's going to increase the probability of telling you secrets. But if they don't like you, they're not going to talk to you.
You got some, in addition to describing some of these techniques, you got some pictures in the book too, which really kind of give an idea of the body language people have, where you can tell by looking at someone's face whether they're being truthful or if they like you or being deceptive. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's the model. There's my daughter, if I can brag a little.
Is that right? Okay.
My author, he's from Florida, Marvin Carlins, and I decided to sit down and compile these things that I've gathered up in the FBI and actually bring them to people to help them in dating situations and job situations, because our brain constantly scans the horizon and the environment for friend and foe signals, especially from other humans. And that's one thing that we focused on, were make sure that you send out proper friend signals to predispose people to like you before you even talk to them.
The eyebrow raise, that's one that kind of interested me. I didn't really realize that was necessarily a friend or foe signal.
Yeah, it's a long-distance signal, a friend signal. As somebody approaches us, they will give us a good eyebrow flash, and that is merely a quick up and down movement of the eyebrows. It lasts about a sixth of a second. And then in return, we send back the same eyebrow flash, and that's just to let the other person know we're not a threat. And what's surprising is once I tell people about this, they come back and they go like, I can't believe I eyebrowed like 100 times today. And I saw like 100 eyebrow flashes. I didn't know I did it. And because our brain, once we know something's not a threat, we kind of put it aside and we only focus on the foe signals. The other friend signal is the head tilt.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
What that does, that exposes your carotid artery. And, if your carotid artery is severed, you don't last very long. So what you're basically telling that person by tilting your head is saying, I'm exposing a weak point of my body here, and I trust you that you won't take advantage of that. So people who tilt their head look more trustworthy and they look more attractive.
Yeah, we tend to think of that with, and you have a picture in the book, dogs do that. And
yeah,
it seems to be a friendly thing that dogs do, but I didn't realize that people did it. You see people do that, but you don't think of that necessarily as a friendly gesture or not, but it is, huh?
Yeah, that's what I tell people. I said, go home and look at your pets. And they come back and they'll go like, wow, my pet tilts his head all the time. I said, yes, because he's telling you I'm not a threat. And the last one of the big three would be the smile. That's a powerful friend signal, because when you smile, you get a little shot of endorphins, and that makes you feel good. That's that thing that makes you feel good in your brain. And then when somebody else smiles back at you, they also get a shot of endorphin, and they feel good about themselves. And what the smile does, it makes you look more attractive, you're more likable, you're less dominant, And when you smile at somebody, it puts them in a better mood all around. So if you have, conversation with them, you've kind of predisposed that person to like you before you even say a word. And that's valuable in dating or job interviews, situations where you meet new people.
Yeah, and you have some pictures in the book as well as of the real smile as opposed to a fake smile. That tells you a lot as well, if you can recognize the difference.
Yeah, our brains can recognize the difference, and we can too once you understand some of the telltale signs. One of the biggest telltale signs is there's no crow's feet. So a genuine smile uses all the muscles in your face, and you scrunch up and you see crow's feet. Even with the younger folks where their skin's elastic and they don't have as much crow's feet as the older folks, that the brain can still pick that up. So if you're going to fake smile at somebody, just make sure you squint up and get your crow's feet work.
And again, these techniques, you don't have to go into law enforcement to use them. Obviously, you talk about job interviews or just, meeting people, dating and all that kind of thing. I guess you have to kind of just, for a while, almost look for these signals. Because they're not something you'd look for. It's not a natural thing to look for them, right? They just kind of happen. But if you look for them, I guess you can, then it'll become second nature after a while, right? Other people? Yeah,
and then but then that also allows you to monitor your nonverbal behaviors when you meet people, and it also allows you to evaluate the other person's nonverbal behaviors when you meet them, and you can adjust your communication accordingly.
Body language, you talk about that as well. I thought that was kind of interesting. If someone's feet is kind of pointed toward, I guess, the exits or something, they're looking to get out of the room, right? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, the feet want to go where the brain is thinking. And, the other thing with feet is if you walk into a crowded room and you don't know anybody and you want to know how can I talk to people who's more receptive, you can look at their feet. If you see two people and their feet are facing one another, that's a closed circle, and they don't want anybody else coming into their conversation. But if you see two people with their feet, pointed outward, that means they're willing to take another person into their circle. So that's a quick way for you to understand who's receptive and who's not receptive to taking on new people into their group.
The name of the book is The Light Switch, an ex-FBI agent's guide to influencing, attracting, and winning people over. We've been talking with Jack Schafer tonight. And if you'd like to order the book, you can click on the Amazon search box at the bottom of the screen here on DougMilesMedia.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again next time here on Book Talk. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media, all rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or DougMilesMedia.com.